What's going on, bottom line viewers? It's Mitch here of the Bottom Line View. As you can see, I've rushed back from class. I am here. My bed isn't even made. I got like stuff in the background. I'm just going nuts. And during class all day, I was looking at my phone. I see this tweet. It says, because I get the alerts from Ian Rappaport, from Adam Schefter, from the guys, the experts around the NFL. I see the reports that Josh Gordon could be coming to the New England Patriots. I thought that this was like a dream. I thought this was fake news. I didn't think this was real at all. I didn't think this was a possibility. As you guys know, if you follow my channel, The Bottom Line View, you know that I'm a huge fan of Josh Gordon. Always have been, always will be. Now that he's a New England Patriot, I really can't even believe it. I'm just going to talk about the potential of what he can do in this offense, what is going to happen with Josh Gordon, when we could see him on the field, what it's going to take for him to become the dominant player he once was, if it's going to work out in New England, the trade, all the stuff in between. And yeah, I'm going wild right now. As I said, bed's not made. Background is a mess, but it doesn't even matter because the Flash is a Patriot. So that's all I care about at the moment. If you guys want to hit that like button, support the channel. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel for more NFL. We do NFL reactions like this, NFL previews, picks, fantasy football. We do everything in between. Everything NFL is on this channel. So Josh Gordon, he's been traded to the Patriots from the Cleveland Browns for a 5th-round pick. Okay, I put out a few days ago he was probably going to be released. I thought he was going to be released by the Browns, but it came out of nowhere. You know, the Browns' reasoning for releasing him, nothing to do with off the field, really. They said that he hurt his hamstring at a promotional event. We don't know if Josh Gordon was caught in an act of something else. We don't know the pure details of why Josh Gordon was actually released. All we know is that one last thing pushed the Browns over the limit in terms of, okay, Josh Gordon made another mistake. The Browns weren't having it anymore, and they got rid of him. Okay, that's what happened. But the Patriots, obviously teams around the league, as I discussed with Kevol, we're looking into what happened with Josh Gordon. Why was he released? Is he actually injured? Is he going to get suspended? Clearly, he's not going to get suspended. Clearly, it's not an injury, most likely. And clearly, it's not a huge off-the-field issue. Because if it was, the Patriots or other teams wouldn't have been interested in acquiring his services for their team. Josh Gordon, when fully healthy, when at 100%, when focused and playing football, is easily a top 10 receiver in the NFL in terms of talent. The question is, he hasn't played a lot recently. He played a little bit last year, and instantly when he came back after like 2 years off, looked awesome for the most part with subpar quarterback play. This year, he plays one game, plays about half the game, catches the game-tying touchdown for the Browns after basically not having a training camp, not having a preseason, not really knowing the playbook. So how is Josh Gordon without a preseason, without really a training camp, only playing a few plays in week 1 after all this madness that's happened? How is he going to transfer over to the Patriots? So the Patriots obviously needed a receiver. They needed an X receiver. Chris Hogan doesn't really look like he's getting it done as a go-to guy. Yes, he scored, I think, 2 touchdowns against the Jaguars. Both were in semi-garbage time. I wouldn't count the first one, but the second one, pretty much a garbage time touchdown there. He doesn't get a lot of separation when it doesn't come to scheme. He's a solid receiver, but he's like a 3rd receiver on your team. Julian Edelman is suspended. I think the Patriots are going to give Josh Gordon and put him out there right away. I think he's going to play in the first game. I think he's going to play in that first game against Detroit, and I think you're going to see him do a few things. You're going to see him not out there all the time, but he's going to have a few plays, a few packages, a few formations. The Patriots put him out there. They use him in a specific way and a specific reason for him being out there, and he'll run a few routes in that and get kind of used to the offense, used to Tom Brady, used to the players around him. I think you could see that as soon as this weekend on Sunday. But obviously, like I said, Chris Hogan wasn't working out as the X receiver go-to guy with Edelman not there. I feel like Hogan, even as a borderline 2 in the Patriot system, is not a bad receiver. But as a 3, he can do some damage. Edelman, I think, is a solid number 1 in this offense because of his role and what he does. So you add that guy back from suspension who looked at 100% in preseason action and in training camp with a guy like Josh Gordon. And even if Josh Gordon isn't Josh Gordon per se, and maybe he's just a guy that can catch a few deep balls and stretch the defense and create a little bit of separation on routes, and maybe he's about 70% of what he used to be, that's still a huge gain and a huge plus for the Patriots. Because the Patriots, besides Julian Edelman and Rob Gronkowski, and arguably James White, don't have a lot of receivers that can create separation on their own apart from scheme. So when you throw in Josh Gordon to the mix, he has the speed to back a defense off deep. So that means the Jaguars wouldn't have been able to play at the line of scrimmage with 8 guys in the box, their corners pressed on the receivers. They would have to be a little bit more conservative, like the way you saw them play the Giants with Odell Beckham. All right, so Josh Gordon just makes the defense respect the receivers a little bit more. He's big, he's physical. You can't really press him at the line of scrimmage because he's just going to push you off. He's going to catch a ball. I feel like even if he's not fully acclimated to the system, he's so athletically gifted, he's so skilled that if you just give him a few routes here and there, and I believe he could go out there first week and he could run a couple slants, a couple comebacks, a couple goes, and you'll have a receiver that's already better than anything you have on the current roster. So Josh Gordon is a monster, and if he's ready to go, if he's mentally there, then you're good. So I'm really excited from a Patriots point of view. From a Browns point of view, it's obviously a tough loss. And if you're thinking about Josh Gordon, you've obviously probably already moved on from now if you're a Cleveland fan. Because if you're a Cleveland fan, you're probably thinking, okay, Josh Gordon, we were going to release him, whatever. At least we got a 5th-round pick back. So, yeah, at least they got a 5th-round pick back. The other thing that does tell me about Josh Gordon and the services of Josh Gordon is that other teams were competing for Josh Gordon. It wasn't just the Patriots, because a 5th-round pick tells me that there was at least 1 or 2 other teams that were interested in acquiring Josh Gordon. I heard that Washington was one of them. Possibly Dallas was another one. So Washington maybe offered a 6th or a 6th and a 7th or something. The Patriots probably had to up the offer, especially considering they're in the AFC. But I just think this is an awesome addition to the Patriots offense. This is something that is going to completely open up their entire offense. It's going to open up their running game. It's going to open up the rest of their receivers. It's going to allow Gronk to not take double teams consistently. Gronk took a double team on every play against the Jaguars. When you have Josh Gordon on the field, you can't double team Gronk consistently. In the red zone, possibly. In between 20 and 20, you can't double team Gronk, or you're basically sacrificing a rusher, or you're sacrificing coverage one-on-ones on, let's say, Edelman's back. You can't one-on-one Edelman and Gordon and Gronk. You're going to have to choose one of the guys. So rather, you're allowing Josh Gordon to have a one-on-one deep with no safety help, or you're allowing Julian Edelman underneath one-on-one against your slot corner, probably your 3rd corner, or you're allowing your 4th corner against Chris Hogan, or you're allowing your linebacker against James White. This is going to be tough to stop. If you're a Patriots fan, if you're an NFL fan of offensive football, the potential of the Patriots offense with Josh Gordon is crazy. Because how is any defense, even the Jaguars, going to be able to match up with Gordon, Gronk, Edelman, Hogan, White, and so on? With Brady. It's crazy. I'm going to go to the chat real quick. Alan says LFG, and if you don't know what that means, you are probably not a Patriots fan. He said, I thought we had no shot. I didn't either, man. I heard reports a couple days ago that the Patriots weren't going to pursue Josh Gordon. I guess that was totally wrong. Maybe it was a smokescreen. Maybe it was a smokescreen to let other teams know and probably say to other teams, hey, the Patriots aren't interested, so you probably shouldn't be interested either. Maybe, I don't know, or maybe the guy that reported it just got it wrong. Bodo says, congrats, by the way. You still have no defense. The thing with the Patriots defense, and this is what people are haters are going to say, like Bodo, is that the Patriots defense every year gets better as the season goes on. So the Patriots defense had one of those September games that they always do, by the way, where they're going to completely shit the bed 100%. And their defense was bad. No doubt about it. Linebackers couldn't cover. They couldn't cover crossing routes. They were okay against the run at best. They couldn't win one-on-one matchups on the defensive line, but you have to give credit to the Jaguars, their game plan, what they did. And I feel like the Jaguars offense is super underrated in terms of their scheme, in terms of their playmakers, in terms of their offensive line. And of course, the Patriots, through the course of that game, they did lose their best defensive player, Trey Flowers, in the first series. They did lose Patrick Chung. I know these are excuses, but with time, this defense can get better, and at least better than the one that was there last year. I do truly believe that. And the Patriots, by adding I haven't even mentioned, people were bringing up the fact that LeAdrian Waddle didn't look so good at right tackle. Well, Marcus Cannon's eventually going to be there. Just give him some time to get back and healthy. He's been practicing. So this Patriots team, it's September. Like Michael Lombardi says, I quote him a couple times on this channel, September is like extended preseason. September is not going to win you a Super Bowl. September is when you work out the kinks. You see what's wrong with your team and you go from there. You fix your team. That's what the good coaches are able to do. And that's what separates teams in December from teams in September. That's been the problem with teams of the past, like the Bengals or the Chiefs or teams like that. They haven't been able to develop and get better as time goes on. And with the Patriots, they always seem to play their best football near the end of the year. So we'll see if Josh Gordon is going to be involved in that plan. I believe he will be because of his pure talent. You're not talking about a Corey Coleman or a Kenny Britt or a Jordan Matthews or an old Reggie Wayne or an old Joey Galloway. Or, you're talking about one of the most talented football players in the NFL. He is that physically gifted. They're going to find a way to use this guy. He's not going to be a short stint because he's that gifted. If he wasn't, they wouldn't have traded for him. He's not a past his prime Kenny Britt or one of these old guys. You know what I mean? A lot of times people will say, well, what's the difference between Gordon? Can he get acclimated to the system? What's the difference between him and a guy like these other guys they've had? Talent. That might be the difference. Defunk says, I'm kind of glad my Cardinals didn't get him. Let's get that top 5 pick. Yeah, Cardinals are definitely looking like a top 3 pick sort of team, Defunk. Over under 6 games before he gets suspended again. I'm hopeful he doesn't get suspended. And again, Josh Gordon could easily go off the rails. We've seen it before. He could obviously get suspended. He could go off the rails. He could lose his shit. He could get suspended easily. I don't think that's going to happen. And I'm very intrigued. This was floating around Patriots Twitter. I'm intrigued to see what the Patriots do in terms of how they acclimate him to the Patriots way, the Patriot way, so to speak. Do they have him live with, let's say, Matthew Slater and have a mentor to live with, have a guy who's maybe a receiver or, maybe a leader of the team that he can rely on, that he can be close to and kind of get him acclimated to the way, kind of be like a mentor to him? Or do they have, or like, how are they going to approach him in terms of the way that the Patriots run their organization? Because obviously Patriots run it stricter, a stricter ship and that sort of thing than anyone else. Maybe this will be a good thing for Josh Gordon. It was good for Randy Moss. It was good for Corey Dillon. It's been good for a number of players in the past for the Patriots. It's just a matter of, is he going to be willing to put in the work and play football? Or, and maybe it's good for him that he's actually going to not be in the media eye, so to speak. Like in New England, you don't really interact with the media like other teams do. You don't like the way that Randy Moss was in New England was different from the Randy Moss in Minnesota. And I'm not trying to compare them as players, but I'm trying to compare them in terms of how Randy Moss was leaving Oakland. And obviously Josh Gordon's situation is worse, but Josh Gordon in New England, I just feel like it could be better for him being in a place like New England as opposed to Cleveland, where it's not strictly ran. It doesn't have good leadership. It doesn't have a Tom Brady. It doesn't have a Bill Belichick. It doesn't have a great owner in Robert Kraft. It doesn't have championship pedigree. Maybe Josh Gordon looks around New England once he gets there and says, I see how hard these guys work. I get a chance to play with Tom Brady. I get a chance to be under Bill Belichick. I get a chance to win a Super Bowl if I play my game. That changes players a little bit. And I hope that does happen with Josh Gordon. Gator Chomp says, hi. What's going on, Gator Chomp? Billy Mays says, what we give up, it was a 5th round pick. Gator Chomp says, Pat's trash. Well, thank you for that. Adrian says, who he get traded for. It was a 5th round pick. Gordon, the next Moss. Okay, I'm not going to say he's the next Moss, but I will say this. I would love to see him wear number 81. I would love to see him wear number 81, and I think that would be pretty big. I think it would be also awesome if the Patriots brought in Randy Moss to talk to Josh Gordon. I would be for that. Elena's dad says, Josh Gordon, Jeff Gordon, Melvin Gordon, Gordon Hayward, or Gordon Ramsay don't matter. Jags by 30. Jags won in September. Let's see if they can win in January. So far, 0 for 1 in January. Ultra says, Josh Gordon, not a Patriot signing, but he will help. Honestly, this is a Patriot signing, though. They always do this. They always do this. Sometimes it works. Sometimes it doesn't. Ultra says, but he isn't white, so he won't help. Just kidding. But him, Edelman, Gronkowski, and Hogan are actually pretty scary. I agree with that. Plus, you throw in, that's going to help the run game. Sony Michel looked like their best running back, and he didn't even play in the training camp or preseason. James White out the backfield. Rex Burkhead. Jacob Hollister is the second tight end. You have Marcus Cannon coming back. I'm excited for this offense at the very least. Still skeptical about the defense, but I do believe it can get better. Coleman did get released because of Josh Gordon, but he could always be back. You never know. Okay. A lot of comments here, guys. A lot of comments. I also think that probably Patterson won't be used a ton anymore. But we'll see. Philip Dorsett, too. I didn't even bring up Philip Dorsett. He was solid. He's been solid. He's been better than Hogan, arguably. Are we going to the Super Bowl? If Josh Gordon plays like at least 70% of Josh Gordon, they're going to the Super Bowl. Ruben says, I still can't believe this is happening. Me neither. As you can see, I had to rush into this room, and my bed is not made. I rushed from school just to do this video. So if you guys respect that, hit the like button and subscribe. Patterson's complete trash. He's not really a receiver. He's kind of just a gadget player. One thing I would like to see from Patterson is a little bit more of them giving him the ball as a running back. I think that would be interesting. Blake was awesome yesterday. Sean. Gordon is smoking a blunt as we speak. Maybe. Maybe you're in here because you're scared. Is it a possibility that Elena's dad is actually scared that Josh Gordon is a Patriot because now they actually have a receiver who can beat man-to-man coverage? Is that a possibility? Can Josh Gordon stay on the field? Only time will tell. Les says, so Mitch, I've been listening to you clam. There's no risk to Josh Gordon. Couldn't be more wrong. So he becomes the starter, makes plays, etc. How do you know he's going to be available the next week? I don't understand where people equate risk to signing Josh Gordon. You sign Josh Gordon, he plays well, he's on your team. You sign Josh Gordon, he does something bad, you cut him. You're back where you started. What did you lose? Other thing, Josh Gordon plays bad, which I don't think that would happen. You cut him. What do you lose? You're still stuck where you were stuck. And at least it adds a receiver. Another problem with the Patriots has been they just simply don't have the bodies at the position of wide receiver. They've only played 3 receivers and one is a kick returner for the first 2 weeks of the season. At least they have an actual receiver who actually knows how to play receiver. Is that not just a bonus in itself above playing a kick returner? Is that not better? I don't know. Jags need to have a better record than the Pats, says Bodo. I agree. The Jags want to win in the playoffs. They need to have home field advantage. How do you spell Belichick? Belichick. Great idea. Let's cut Eric Rowe and promote JC Jackson. You guys are rough on Eric Rowe. I'm love and hate with Eric Rowe. He has really good weeks, and then other weeks he plays really poorly. Like last week, he played really well. This week, he played really poorly. I don't know what I'm expecting from Eric Rowe in any given week. Samuel says, I love your idea of letting him wear 81. Who's doing the review tonight? It's me. Gator Champ says, sadly, the Pats aren't trash. I like getting people triggered. My Bills are the Browns now. Yeah, Bills are pretty freaking bad, bro. I'm sorry. Jags don't need him to destroy the flats. My God, the Patriots defense could not stop any flat patterns whatsoever. They couldn't stop any crossing routes, any dump offs to the running back. It was a field day for any quarterback who would have played. Steel Driving Crew says, I want Gordon to be great and do great, he says, but I think he's going to slip up. Randy Moss has some character issues, but Josh Gordon is a major addiction issues. Well, hopefully, I mean, we haven't really seen anything with Josh Gordon in terms of addiction issues this year. He did have to go to rehab, but that was more of a precautionary thing. So we'll see. I can't really say for sure he's going to slip up. But I'm just hopeful because like I said from the top, and like I've been saying, it's not just that the Josh Gordon's on the Patriots now. It's that Josh Gordon, I've been genuinely a fan of Josh Gordon since I saw him play the first year in Cleveland. Like, I like Josh Gordon, the player. I think Josh Gordon is a troubling person. And usually with me, I usually actually side with people that have the issues. I want to see them overcome things. There's some people that would rather pound on people that are having problems and would rather nitpick everything about them and would rather disrespect them and just pour more shit on top of them. But for me, I'm all about people redeeming themselves and getting back to where they've been or overcoming stuff in their lives. And with Josh Gordon, I honestly do believe, I know this is coming from a Patriots fan, but I honestly do believe if there's any place that Josh Gordon can redeem his career, can get back on the right foot, and with his life, more so than his career or as a football player, it's New England. They have the right supporting cast. They have the right quarterback. They have the right coach. They have the right leadership. They have the right resources. It is New England. And if it doesn't work out in New England, it's probably the end of Josh Gordon. Les says, if I was a Pats fan, I'd be terrified this guy's going to let you down. I just don't know how he's going to let us down. Overrated trade. The Patriots run into the Chiefs. They do play them week 6, so we'll see that early. And hopefully that will be one of the first weeks with Edelman, Gordon, Gronk on the same field. So I'm excited. All right, guys, I'm going to leave it there. I hope you guys enjoyed. It's about 25 minutes into the video. I hope you guys have enjoyed. If you did, hit the like button to the video. Subscribe if you haven't, if you're new and if you're just stumbling upon this video. And just to let you know, if you are new, we do NFL picks every week. We do NFL start and sits for fantasy football. We do live streams on Sundays. We do recaps on Mondays and Sunday nights and Thursday nights. So subscribe to the channel, like the video. Hope you guys enjoyed. It's Mitch of the Bottom Line View. Peace out.